Welcome to Game Day Preview on Jackets TV, presented by Ohio Health. I'm Bob McElligott alongside Blue Jackets assistant coach Dan Hinote. Tonight, the Blue Jackets get set to take on the Edmonton Oilers, and this will be the second time that your team has faced them this year. The last time, you really outplayed them right here in this building, outshot them, outplayed them, but they got the win in that game. So that's one of a lot of close games for you this year, but you come into this one off a nice win over the Colorado Avalanche. Has it been nice the last day to kind of sit back, look at that game, and see all the things you've done right?
No, there's no time for that in this game, unfortunately.
You got one day.
You do have one day, and you spend that day preparing for Edmonton. So you don't really get to sit in the limelight of your win. But at the same time, you know, it's nice to see the players are really upbeat. I know they're excited because we've had a lot of really good efforts this year and not a lot of success. So when you do have that success with the effort, sometimes it's nice to have. So guys were a little bit more upbeat this morning, and hopefully that translates into the game tonight.
And a lot of guys talking today about the importance now of taking that next step, which has been putting together wins, which is something that you haven't been able to do. So close, but it hasn't happened. How big of a building block would that be if you can do that here tonight?
I think it's huge. I think going forward, you know, it's one thing to have momentum, you know, as far as your effort's concerned, as far as being in games. But when you start stringing the points together, you start stringing some wins together, then that momentum changes to confidence. And then you start feeling like you should win every game. And that's the difference between, you know, Chicago and some of the other teams. Is right now Chicago thinks that they're going to win every game, whether they could be down in the last 2 minutes like you saw the other night, and then you know, pull a quick one out of the hat and end up with a win. So a lot of that it's feeling. And if you can string together a couple wins here, then our guys start to feel that, and then that creates, you know, hopefully the momentum that takes you through 3, 4, 5 games where you're stringing together a lot of points. But at the same time, like I said, you know, we're trying to build on the effort and the fact that we're right in these games. We're one bounce away, one lucky goal away from stringing these wins together. And so that's kind of our focus is, listen, we're doing all the right things. Just keep pushing forward and these wins will come.
Well, we've talked about injuries a lot with your team this year, and today you're actually going to be a +1 because you lose one guy, Nikita Nikitin, but Jack Johnson and Derek Brassard are both coming back. Well, let's talk about Jack Johnson joining that D corps again. I know it's only been a week, but you've had young guys step in, and they've really done a good job filling those holes and making sure that you're still competitive in these games. When you throw Jack back into the mix, what does that do for them?
I think it's great for us as a team, but it's great for the young guys because he's a guy that can log you 35 minutes a night if you need him to. He plays all situations. He's a great guy to look at as far as positional hockey's concerned and learn from, you know, because he does a lot of very good things out there. So I know he's also a quiet, confident guy, and there's no panic in his game, you know, and he's one of those guys I think the young guys look to for leadership. When things don't go right, you look to your leaders and you see, okay, well, they're not panicking, we're going to be all right. And so he provides that for our team, and he's good. He's good in the room, he's good on the bench. So it's a big addition for us. Obviously, it hurts losing Nicky and his big shot back there, and Nicky makes a lot of great plays in all situations as well, but when one goes out, we get another one back, so hopefully we can get them all together one day.
Yeah, one of these days, right? That is the hope. You've got the Edmonton Oilers tonight. This team is in the middle of a 9-game road trip right now, and they've dropped their last 2, including a 4-2 loss in Minnesota just 2 nights ago, but they're talented, and they're young, and sometimes you were talking about the Chicago team that just thinks it's going to win every night. Well, sometimes when you're a young team, even if you drop a couple, you don't know any better. You just come out there and expect the next one to go your way.
Yeah, sometimes ignorance is bliss, and sometimes when you're young, that's what you have in spades. But they work hard with their talent. You know, execution's not always there, and I think sometimes when you're a young team, and I know we follow the same program, is you get a little lost in your own zone. But it's not for lack of effort. And last time we played them, it was a big physical game. You know, we outplayed them, I thought, but they ended up with the victory. And I think, you know, reading the articles and hearing what their coach has been talking about, it's going to be a physical game tonight. Them picking up Brown will add to that fact because he plays that irascible style where he's going to be in your face, he's going to look to fight, he's going to look to hit everything that moves, and he's going to want to make a good impression on his new team. So I think tonight's going to be a war.
Yeah, Mike Brown coming over from the Toronto Maple Leafs for a conditional 4th-round draft pick just a couple of days ago, too. So when you talk about it being a war and what he does add, does that mean that Derek Dorsett and Jared Boll might be busy guys tonight?
I think so, but I think it's not just those guys. I mean, you saw Prouder fight the other night. You saw Nick Foligno fight the other night. You know, it doesn't just fall on those guys all the time, although they do carry the bulk of it. But Derek McKenzie can do it. We got guys that, Gillies when he's in the lineup, and depending on who's in the lineup any given night, we got guys that are pulling on the rope that way. And you saw Nick Keaton, the other night, stick up for his teammate and fight too. So those are good signs from a coaching perspective, where guys are starting to pull for each other and protect each other and stick up for each other, because then that makes you a hard team to play against, not just two hard guys to play against in Bowler and Dorsett. So hopefully they see the positives from having a team that does it, not just two guys.
At what age do you get over that ignorance is bliss kind of thing? 'Cause I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and that just means that you haven't got to the age where you figure it out. So as long as we stay ignorant, we're happy people.
And we are happy people. And tonight, we'll be happy to watch the Blue Jackets take on the Oilers. It's a game that gets underway at 7 o'clock this evening. You can watch it on Fox Sports Ohio. Listen to it on the Blue Jackets Radio Network or right here at BlueJackets.com. For Dan Hinote, I'm Bob McElligott. Thanks for watching Game Day Preview on Jackets TV, presented by Ohio Health.